listening to New Yorker Cartoon Caption Contest podcast. I'm Paul Nesha. With me this week is Beth Lawler, Nicole Krolovicius, and special guest John Klossner. Thanks for joining the podcast, John.
Thanks for having me, Paul.
I'm trying to remember when's the last time we had you on here. It's been a couple years, hasn't it?
A couple of years ago, yeah. And
Okay.
yeah, I forget what my baseless opinion was then, but it's something about cartoons.
I'm sure it was something about cartoons, and we will probably talk about some more of that. So here we go
Yes.
again. Silly cartoon talk. So let's get reacquainted here. What have you been up to the last couple of years?
Still doing the cartoon thing. I don't do as much magazine or single panel work anymore. I've been doing, I've illustrated a couple children's books and been doing some illustration work for odds and ends.
Okay.
The typical freelance lifestyle.
Okay. Do you write the children's books yourself, or are you just illustrating them?
No, just illustrate them.
And are those out right now?
Yeah, I've been working with a small publisher. I'm up in New England. I'm in Maine, and this small publisher out of Portsmouth, New Hampshire, it specializes in self-publishing, and they hooked me up with various authors. So, for example, the most recent one was a woman who's a local politician wrote a book on civics for third graders, and it actually came out very well, and it's received a lot of notice. So it was a lot of fun to go out with that.
That's impressive. Civics for third graders. I don't think I would have had any interest at all in civics as a third grader.
Right.
Yeah, but what a great thing. Wow.
Yeah.
Seems like they don't teach civics through high school these days. I mean, like teaching starting in third grade is great.
There's something that you've done lately that, as the Cartoon Caption Contest podcast, we were very interested in. And this is something that you did on Beth's Facebook page. You took over, what do we call that?
The commentary, the weekly commentary.
Yes, it's the commentary.
Okay.
So
you blanked for a second.
yeah, I blanked for a second. So I think that's the first time we actually had one of the cartoonists volunteer for doing that. And
yes, it was awesome.
Why did you put yourself into that grief there, John?
Well, besides drawing them, I'm as big a fan as anybody else. I love looking at cartoons. I love reading them. And when I saw Beth's post about looking for people to give commentary, I just put my foot in there.
Well, we appreciate that because I enjoyed reading them. I like what you had from a cartoonist perspective.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I was lucky in that there was the first issue I did it for was a 2-week issue. It was a New Yorker double week, so I could get used to the rhythm of everything. But Beth held my hand up a lot as I was figuring out how to post and do that. I'm not the most technologically proficient person, but it worked out pretty well. It was a lot of fun, although I stirred up a little controversy about puns, but I'm sure we'll get into that.
And I stirred the pot even further.
Yes, you did. That was great. I got a lot of people interested.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I thought it was great. I loved having you do the commentary. I loved having the friendly debate about puns that we can talk about in a moment.
Yeah.
And even better was that that John was the commentator for the 1,000th cartoon caption contest, which is a huge milestone, and great that we had an actual cartoonist doing the write-up for that week. Was super fun. Like if I could have planned that, I wouldn't have even been able to plan it. Like when I started this Facebook group, like that, nobody would ever have been able to plan that better. It just happened to work out that way, and it was great. I loved it.
And I want to say too, as a participant on Beth's Facebook page, as a participant, you feel so distant from actual New Yorker cartoonists in some ways. So then to know that there's an actual New Yorker cartoonist reading your ideas and then giving feedback on them is kind of a thrill.
Yeah, even though I have no power whatsoever in that process, I become a fan at that point.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you're not judging the contest, right? But you're giving valuable feedback to people that they wouldn't otherwise get from the perspective of a cartoonist, and I think that went a really long way. And just the fact that, you call out certain people's captions that you like I would say to some of the members of the Facebook group, that's almost as good, if not better than winning the contest. I really
Yeah.
think that, not pandering, not making it
Yeah.
more than it is. I really think that having you mention these members' captions was like just an amazing thing for them. So thank you for that.
Okay.
I know it's a lot of work. A lot goes into those weekly commentary, and they're not easy to navigate because sometimes those posts have hundreds of captions on them by the
Yes, they
time.
do.
And so I know it's not easy. So it is very much
Oh.
appreciated.
Well, it was fun because I got into a kind of a rhythm, as I said. I learned how to do it, and my goal was to get it out by the end of day Thursday. And it was, what I want to do is, make a point of something that occurred to me that I saw in a lot of the entries, and also try to. One thing that always interests me is how, when you get a group of people contributing something like that, how it becomes everybody goes in one direction. They kind of, there are so many of the same caption, and I love pointing that out. What really matters here is people who find that little side door that nobody else found.
Don, did it give you a little bit of the editor's eye as well? You'd be used to being a cartoonist, submitting your cartoons for review by other editors and things at the New Yorker, for example. This is kind of a window into the judging process.
Oh, sure.
Did it make you look at them differently?
A little bit. When you see so many, two things, and this is really important to me as a cartoonist, is how many there would be of the same idea worded different ways. And you see, oh, that one works. It's almost like stealing a professional tip in that regard.
Yeah.
Yeah, humor is so subjective. I mean, how do you decide, yeah, that one's funny, that one's not funny? Oh, as a cartoonist, I mean, you've got to have some insight into that.
Yeah, yeah. I hope I made it clear in all my commentary that it was subjective, because, since I sit down and write cartoons all the time, I'm not the best judge of what's going to be the best caption. I'm going to go for the weird ones. I'm going to go for the ones that are very unusual. So, the subjectivity of it is a key point.
Yeah, that's interesting, because that's a little bit of how I do it when I look at judging captions going into the crowdsourcing. Is when I start seeing the same theme over and over again, I just start dismissing them, and as you said, I look for some people who use the side door,
Yeah,
had a different idea of how this cartoon works, and I like that, and that I give points for that.
Do you find that when you see the actual ones in the magazine, does that explain the selections they make to you, or?
Well, personally, I think that your selections here, like I have pulled up on the screen, your commentary for the sword and the sword and the stone contest, right? Which I think we're going to talk about in a little while. So I'm not going to talk about the finalists specifically here, but when we get to the finalists, I think we'll see that the captions that you pulled out of the Facebook group and highlighted are way funnier than the captions that were chosen by these editors. I mean, I'm just looking, like, just glancing at this. We'll keep your sword on file. Like, that's
I love
hilarious.
that.
That is so good. It's to determine who's King Arthur and the Arthurettes. Like those are two that are they're just great. And they're passed over by these judges, in the New Yorker. And it just crazy because they're so funny. There's so many good ones. And sometimes I just think that the New Yorker misses the mark.
Yeah, not knowing what the process is for the New Yorker, I can't. I mean, once again, it's subjective. So, you never know if it's going to be an editor on a bad day or somebody who's got a bigger project they've got to get finished. So they're just going to grab something off the pile. You just don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
But that one, the Sword and the Stone, had some really good entries. That was a strong batch.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was contest number 1,000, which is
1,000.
great.
Yeah.
But yeah, I struggled with that contest myself. I mean, we'll get more into that later, but
Sure.
I just think that those captions that you put in the commentary were great.
Mm.
So now I just lost my train of thought. So somebody else can pick up from
Okay.
here.
Let's dive
I was
into
about to
puns.
say
Let's dive
something
into
else.
puns.
Yes, that's what I wanted to do. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to dive into puns. So,
I have to
so
start with a mea culpa because I wrote originally that puns don't make great cartoons. And I still, without having any official, like I don't have, encyclopedic awareness of what a pun actually is. To me, a pun is a word that gets two meanings, to get, and that's all I go with from there. So I would love to know when many people made the point, and I think you started it, Beth, of a word play is pun. And I want to know where that line is because I don't think it's always the case.
Oh my God, John, this is great. You're putting the nail on the head. This debate has come up in so many
Oh,
fashion
really?
forums on our podcast, in the Facebook group. We've had one player who is kind of our pun expert, a fellow by the name of Gary Borislow, who I think maybe you interacted with on the Facebook group,
I
who
think
we've had
so.
on as a guest, who has in sort of intricate detail explained like a definition of a pun, because there's different kinds of puns, right? And so then wordplay might be the broader definition, and then puns might be a specific form of wordplay, but there are many different kinds of puns. And if I start talking, I'll get an angry email from Gary telling me I'm wrong if I try. So
Yeah.
I think there is a little bit of a fuzziness around all of our understandings about puns and wordplay. But I do think the starting point is words that have multiple meanings, or
Yeah.
phrase, or a phrase that can have a multiple meaning in the context of a cartoon. And I think that's generally what we're talking about. We talk about puns, but I'm probably Gary's probably typing his angry email at me right now. So I'm shocking.
He commented to me in one of the cartoons too. Um, okay, but how do you feel about words that put together make a different, like three words that together sound like one word?
Right. That seems like a pun to me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. It's three words that sound like another word. If you use the word sound like or sounds like, that's got to be a pun.
yeah, right, exactly. As an aside, totally unrelated, I was teaching in an art class a couple of years ago that had a Chinese exchange student in the class, and I did a session on puns, and she could not comprehend the concept of a pun whatsoever, and it made me realize, oh, is this just a unique to English language? Do other languages have puns? And I've never found the answer to that.
Well, I know Shakespeare is full of puns.
Yeah.
Like there's this kind of I think misconception that puns are like a low form of humor,
Right.
but they've been around for a long time. And I think that this is part now we're entering debate territory because I feel like I'm one of the people on the panel that appreciates a good pun, like a good wordplay pun, as long as and it's almost like I know it when I see it. It's
yeah,
like that,
Yep.
that
it's
classic
like porn.
phrase,
Yeah, yeah.
like porn. Yeah, it's like I know it when I see it. It's like, oh yeah.
Nicole's equating puns with porn, folks. Just put it out there.
Oh my gosh, it's
There must
Yeah.
true.
be a
It's true.
good pun there somewhere.
Well,
There's a good pun in there.
I have actually often wondered the same thing if there are puns in other languages. I, of course, do not know the answer to that
Yeah.
either, but um, I just think that it's good wordplay. Whether you call it a wordplay or you call it a pun, I think some of it is very funny, which is why I had to write back when your commentary said that you didn't know of any puns that have been published. I think that's what you said. I don't want to
Right.
put words in your mouth. That you didn't know of any puns that had been published cartoons.
Yeah.
I think
And
that's what
you
you
gave
said.
some good
And
examples.
I think
Yeah.
that you were like you gave the example later on of like a stick of butter with wings,
Yeah.
calling it a butterfly. And yes, that's a visual pun. And that's the kind of pun that I don't know if you're familiar with the cartoonist Gemma Corral.
Oh, sure.
Like
Sure.
she's
Yeah.
like based her entire career in of what I know of her on visual puns,
Yeah.
like, now I'm drawing a blank on what some of them are. Season's greetings, for example, and she'll have like spice jars with
Yeah.
faces on them saying Merry Christmas, like, or and like puns like that. But to me, the New Yorker has published many really good puns, really
Yeah.
good, like call them wordplay or call them puns. I think they're puns, but like, for example, the Mort Gerberg, um, with the children outside of a window, speaking of Shakespearean times, um, outside of a window asking Wolfgang, Mozart's mother or grandmother, can Wolfgang come out and play? And they all have they have their instruments with them.
Yeah.
So it's like, instead of can he come out and play ball or play whatever tag or whatever, it's can Wolfgang come out and play his
Yeah.
music? To me, that's a pun, and it's a great one.
It's a good one.
I don't know if Mort Gerberg would call it a pun or just call it wordplay, because the word pun is kind of taboo. I think
Yeah.
amongst amongst cartoonists, and I included in that list of puns that I posted to you in response, I purposely included a Bob Mankoff, because Bob Mankoff, as the cartoon editor, will often say he hates puns.
Yes, I've heard that.
As the former cartoon editor, he hates puns, but
Yeah.
yet he has a published cartoon that's a pun, at least one. And the one I put up there was the focus group one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I think that puns get a really bad rap, but when they're done properly, they can be really good.
Right.
They can be really good.
No,
So,
Mia Culp and I agree.
yeah.
When they're high level, they work.
I mean, George Booth even had one.
I'm sure.
The dog at the bar. What was it? I mean, the caption. I don't want to screw it up. It was he's talking to the bartender and he says, "Make that a double and give one to the old bitch at the end of the bar." It's great. It's great, and the pun being the bitch.
Yeah.
So for those that didn't catch on to that, but
Could you read it again?
It's so good.
Emphasis.
It's so good.
This is our R-rated
Yeah.
podcast today.
And my all-time favorite, I did not post in that group, is a Danny Shanahan with an old couple. The man coming in at the front door. It's an older, like grandparent, like old couple. And the man is coming into the door, and the woman is greeting him at the door. And she says, "You slept with her, didn't you?" And it's just so good. It's just so funny. So anyway, I think when they're done well, they can be great.
Agreed.
I
That's my
like a
diatribe.
pun that has some creativity to it and some cleverness, and not a pun for pun's sake.
Yeah.
That is the lowest form of humor, when it's just
Mhm.
a pun just to be a pun. There's got to be something else to it.
Yeah.
See, I think that's where I misinterpreted. I'm thinking of the real simplistic puns,
Mhm.
which are usually not even captions, but they're just titles and that
Mhm.
sort of thing. So,
Yeah.
So here's one for you. This is one of the ones where I was a finalist for one of the contests with this one. It's the two antelope on a stage at a podium, and the audience is all lions in the audience. And the one antelope is going to tell the one that's speaking, "It'll be over before you know it." Now, is that just wordplay, or is it the whole thing a pun?
I would interpret that as wordplay. I mean,
It'll
because
be over
there's no
before you know
double
it, because I'm
meaning.
taking a phrase that means two different things.
Yeah, yeah,
Well, there's a pun though on the word over, because over in this context means end and means
There it
death.
is.
So
Okay,
it's
you're
a
right.
pun. It's
yeah,
just, it's hard. It's kind of like it's hard to see it sometimes because when it works, like that one did, Paul, it's seamless because both versions of that word work well. And that, in fact, becomes the joke. Like the joke relies on that double meaning. That's what makes it funny. So I think I think good puns are hard to recognize as such. That's one of my theories
Good point.
that New Yorker cartoonists don't see them as puns because in a certain level, they're almost more than a pun because they just perfectly capture through words what's going on in the scene. Because often these cartoons have disparate elements. And so if you can find that word, that perfect word that draws in two disparate elements, that reconciles what's happening in a funny way, that is the kind of wordplay that I love. And it almost like you don't even recognize it as a pun.
Right, because
It's
when I
not like
wrote it, I
those
did not
dad
write it as a
jokes.
pun. I didn't write that as a
Yeah.
pun. I wrote it as a phrase that meant two different things. And I didn't even think of it as a pun at the time.
And if I may, another element there that can skew this conversation a little more is that there's a visual element. That cartoon you just described, which is a really good cartoon, is if it weren't for the lions sitting there, I mean, but because of the visual, I'm not sure if that adds to it being a pun or takes away from it being a pun.
I would say it adds to it because you needed some danger in there as they
Yeah,
are going to be killed.
yeah, right. But is the pun the verbiage or is the pun, because a good cartoon is that combination of visual and writing. Sometimes you'll see a good cartoon that's just writing or just drawing, but that combination is what makes it strong. So is that always going to be I don't think that's a pun. I don't think that combination of visual and caption is necessarily a pun.
Well, I think that's such an interesting argument, John, because in my mind, I call those visual puns. Because I think you're right. There are some cartoons where the double meaning is evoked by the image itself and not by the words. Then there's those ones where the word is the double meaning. And often we think of those as the dad joke ones, the ones that have those kind of offensive, like, or the ones where you're saying that cobble together sounds to make a word that sounds like something. And you're just like, that's like a Frankenstein word. That's
Yes.
horrible. But I wanted to give an example of one of those puns that's just a word pun that is so funny from the show Cheers. I feel like I've given this example before. Remember the show Cheers? It was so great,
Oh, sure.
where um, Woody was always, lost and asking questions about things. And he asked, because Frasier, I think, was talking in his psychoanalytical way about a Freudian slip. And he asked, like, what's a Freudian slip? And then Cliff, famously, the postal guy who's sitting there, and he goes, a Freudian slip. Oh, that's when you say one thing, but you're really thinking about a mother. And it was so good. And it's one of the word, it's a word one. It's not visual at
Yeah.
all. And it's just and it's that word sounding like another word, but it really works. And so I think it can, but I do agree with you in the cartoon context. Oftentimes the visual is what elevates the humor into something more sophisticated than one of those sounds like puns.
Right. Well, like in the examples that I posted in my Facebook group, and I'm sorry to the audience that does not have access to that, but I posted one that is a visual pun that was by Henry Martin, and it's a guy in a baseball, he's a baseball player, and he's standing in front of a secretary's desk. And the
Yeah.
secretary is on the phone with her boss, and she says, Mr. Foster is here. He just wants to touch base.
Yeah.
So the pun is it's the baseball player
Yeah.
and he wants to touch base. The phrase touch base is the pun with the
Yeah.
visual, right? But in the Gary, in the Danny Shanahan cartoon that I just mentioned, there is no visual pun in the you slept with her, didn't you? The pun is completely only in the word slept instead of slept, so two different things, but yet I would call them both puns.
Yeah, I agree. So maybe we should just say puns are all encompassing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There is no line.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they provoke a lot of debate because we've had this debate so many times, and I feel like the Facebook page, like I've been a member of Beth's Facebook page now for many years, And I remember when I first joined, there were huge debates about the issue of puns, and it's still going. And everyone comes in with really fierce opinions about it. But I do think there are some people who really truly are anti-pun. Like, and they really are. It's not like they're misunderstanding it or whatever. They just don't like that form of humor. And I respect that. I think that that's a perfectly valid way to approach it. That's the subjectivity part, I think.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly.
Yeah.
When
What
they're
are
good,
your
they can
feelings
be
on
really
puns,
good.
John? What do you
As far as
care?
using them,
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever used one intentionally, but I mean, with this expanded definition, I probably have. Um, I don't think because I tend to do my drawings first, and then I run my own caption contest, and so I rarely think in that direction.
That's interesting that, we hear cartoonists, do both ways where they, come up with the whole concept first, or they come up with, just doodling and doing a drawing, then come up with the caption for it.
Yeah.
I've been doing that lately myself, and all I can think of are puns when I'm doing it. And it's just,
Wow. Wow.
I hate that because puns are easy for me. And it's like I have to get them out of the way before I can get to the joke. And it's just like, I've got to get these 4 or 5 puns out of the way here before I can get to something good.
But what do you mean by a pun? I mean, based on our conversation here, they are they
Usually,
higher intelligence or
usually a sound alike word. Trying to think of one I've done lately. Well, when we get to the contest portion of the podcast, 2 of my entries in the last few contests have been puns. So we'll talk about those when we get to them. But I have a love-hate relationship for them because I like a good pun. When it's a clever pun done well, I like that.
sure, sure.
I hate a pun that's done just for the sake of being a pun. It's like, oh, no.
Well, this all came about because one of the drawings was in the contest that I commented on was a woman in her kayak and her cat in a kayak. And right away, it was just every version of cat. It was just, and so that's where I, started commenting on puns.
Yeah, that's one
That
of them
that
where
one
I
in
have a pun. So we'll get to that later. So,
Okay,
that one in
okay.
particular lent itself to a lot of
Yes.
yeah,
puns that
yes, it
that
did.
Well, and if Vin were here, he would just say they should stop running contests with cats and dogs because that's all you get are the cat and
well,
dog phrases.
that's interesting, and that leads me to another thing. John, you do a contest in a cat and magazine and a
Yeah.
dog magazine
Yes.
regularly, right?
Modern cat and modern dog.
which which Vin will never
Vin
never
won't play
enter.
Yes. It's a small, I think small. They're magazines out of Vancouver, British Columbia, and I do like a couple caption contests for them every year. And yeah, modern cat and modern dog, as opposed to antique cat and antique
I
dog,
was
right?
I was just thinking about that.
They're very nice people and they pay on time. So
That's great.
That's great.
That is great.
I bet they
I
get a
think
lot of puns.
there are people out there that
oh,
love them.
yeah, I can imagine.
But yeah, dogs and cat cartoons generally are, a pun
Oh, bonanza, a
bonanza.
bonanza.
A
An
bonanza,
invitation, yes.
That's great. So, and you also do a contest, if I'm remembering right, for some kind of technical scientific.
Yeah, I used to do
Yeah.
for an online technology publication ran a contest like every 2 weeks.
Wow.
Okay.
Yes,
That's a lot.
the caption contest concept is taken off through the publishing world.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
a way to get people to participate.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I think
And I
that's
will
great.
post a link to those contests in the show notes so that people can
Sure.
play.
Yeah.
We'll have to
And
dig them up. The technology one doesn't run anymore, so,
Okay.
I'll
have
get
to.
modern cat and modern dog right to you, Paul.
Okay.
I also have to give a shameless plug for John. He sells his original art through Curated Cartoons. So if anybody, he's got a great gallery of cartoons
Thank you.
there for sale. So if anybody is interested in his original art,
Yes, and it's
go to
wonderful
Curated
working.
Cartoons and
Thank
notch them up.
which is interesting as we speak about caption contests. When the caption contest first started, or when I was first doing drawings that were in the caption contest, the winners got an original cartoon. So
Yeah.
I did a bunch that were done early. So there's like, 10 original cartoons given away out there.
Wow. Yeah, that was a good gift when
Yes.
back then.
Yeah.
When they opened it up, my understanding is that when they opened it up internationally, they had to do away with that because of
Oh.
whatever the
Monetary value.
international
Yeah.
rules are,
Sorry.
monetary value. Yeah.
Your fault,
Wow.
Nicole.
Yeah.
So
Where are you, Nicole?
Canada.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Not too far.
Yeah.
She's actually
Your
closer to New
friend's
York
name.
than I am.
Yeah. You're- We
yeah.
always joke. I think
Yeah.
Paul, we were like, I think Paul's more north than I am geographically.
Are you in Toronto or something?
Yes, just outside. Yeah.
Any more
You-
pun talk? Are we done with puns?
How to start a conversation at a cocktail party.
Yes. How would you like to
We-
talk about
Drink.
puns? Yeah. Oh, we're just
Yeah.
gonna leave now. We're
Who's
gonna
got a
leave.
definition for puns?
Yeah. Everyone's got an opinion, but no one's got a definition. Except
that's
Gary.
true.
Gary will remind us because he's good. He knows.
Mhm.
So tell us, Gary. Let us know what we got wrong and right.
I think Nicole is right with yes, you know it when you see it, just like
Yeah.
pornography.
Yeah.
So I know a pun when I see it. And yes, it's a gray area in there. It's,
Yeah.
when does it stop becoming a pun and just being wordplay? I don't know. I think it's different for everyone.
Yeah.
The riddle of the Sphinx.
Yeah.
What walks on four legs?
I do want to, maybe we'll throw this to Gary to answer the question about the puns in other languages, because that's like really intriguing to me. Like
Yeah.
how that would work,
Yeah, the
like
culture
what
of
puns are there in
Well, I imagine it's the structure of the language.
Mm-hmm.
Latin-based languages would be susceptible to puns, but I think,
Mhm.
languages that are character-based, like Japanese, Asian
Yeah.
ones, I think the pun might be in the character itself, because I know that different slight variations in their characters changes the
Mhm.
word significantly. So
Right.
maybe
Mhm.
the puns can be in the way it's drawn, but not in the way you say it.
Right.
Yeah.
Although so much of pun is sound, it's
Mhm.
like the phonics of the
Yeah.
word itself. It's like the sound of the word that creates the double meaning often, because a word will sound like another word, even closely or even exactly. And I think that probably is ubiquitous across both languages.
Yeah. You would think, yeah. It should be across all languages, you would think. So I'm intrigued that your Chinese student couldn't figure it out.
No, could just the whole class was trying to get her to understand, and drawing examples, doing real simplistic things like butterfly, and just did not register. And this is a very bright person.
Yeah, was she very familiar with English?
Yeah, her
Well, I
English
bet
was fine.
it's
Yeah,
probably just that we can't get the Chinese puns the same
Yeah.
way
yeah,
that she couldn't get the
Probably.
English ones.
yeah.
Yeah.
But puns probably, I would think, are probably throughout the Chinese language as well.
I
Mhm.
would
would think.
assume.
Most languages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
wordplay. I mean,
Yeah,
however you're going to call it, every language must have word.
that's right.
Okay, so let's get really deep. And if aliens came and landed on Earth, would they get puns?
There's a cartoon in
Yeah.
There is.
that.
There is.
Draw that one up.
All right. Should we move on to the contest?
Let's go on to the contest. So let's start with the winners of contest 998. That
Can
was the
share my screen if
Liza Donnelly cartoon of a woman kayaking with a cat kayaking as well. So the winner was, to be fair, you don't like anything. Second place was, this is going much better than our bird watching trip. And third, is this what you pictured when you hid in my luggage? Um, does anybody have a strong opinion on this?
um I am not surprised that the first one won at all, because I think that's the general um trope that cats don't like anything.
Yeah.
I don't know if trope is the right word to use in this particular instance, but but that's what I lean towards, that people make a big joke about cats being completely indifferent to things.
Yeah, I like it. I think so too, Beth, to me. And because to me, it gives this particular cat personality. It's almost like this a part of a conversation that they're having where
Mhm.
the cat is complaining. And so
Right.
then this is the response to the complaint, which I kind of like.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's I wanted the second one to win, but I understand why the first one won. Yeah, I'm good with these.
Yeah. No, I'm not going to say anything any different.
Yeah. So let's get to mine, which was a pun.
Okay.
You always want to see the waterfall.
Oh, yes.
So
Yeah,
definite
that was a
pun,
pun.
and it's,
Mhm.
is that a good pun?
I think that was like it was making too much of a leap.
Okay.
Like it was making like you really kind of like the pun didn't hit you like boom, that's a pun. Like you
Yeah.
had to like think about it for a second. And so I think a good pun needs to just like instantaneously, you have to get it.
Right. You can tell right off what the two differences
Mhm.
are in the pun itself. And this one, you had to think about it for a moment to get that
Yeah.
waterfall was knocking over water.
Mhm.
Yeah. It was too subtle. Yeah.
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 And that was the problem is that I really wanted to do a knocking over water caption for
Mhm.
this. And I came down to that. And it's like, yeah, I'll do it.
Well, nothing ventured, nothing gained.
Yep.
So it
Yep.
was worth a shot.
And I noticed that no wordplay or puns, I don't think, in the finalists that the editors chose. And we usually talk about that because
Mhm.
there was once upon a time a phase where it seemed like they were picking a lot of wordplay captions like years back, and lately it's less and less. And I don't think we see any any puns or wordplay in these three.
Nope.
No, I
So
don't see any.
note
No,
note to
these are
players,
jokes.
maybe do the maybe stay away from the wordplay
Well, then they're going to pick three wordplay for that contest when
next
you do
week. They're
that.
right.
That's how that works.
Yeah,
But
they
it
haven't
does,
backed off of them completely. They're still out there occasionally.
Yeah, that's true. We usually see at least one.
Mhm.
It's rare to see none.
Yeah.
but all three of these all play into, as Beth pointed out, tropes of cats.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Cats don't like anything. Cats like birds. Cats
Mhm.
hide in luggage. I mean, it's just there's a generic quality to all three entries here.
Yeah.
Okay. Move on to this week's finalists. This is contest 1000, Lars Kenseth cartoon. Uh, it appears to be the King Arthur legend with a sword in the stone, except for there are like about 40 or 50 swords in the stone. Uh, Finalists are Let's Take Them All Except One and Make Up a Story. Now, this is the full Excalibur set with chef carving, bread, fillet, paring, and steak knives. And best case, you get a kingdom. Worst case, you get a free sword. Uh, I like one of these. The other two, not so much.
Which one?
I like the last one. Best case, you get a kingdom. Worst case, you get a free sword. I just like how simple that is.
Yeah,
Me too. That's the one that made me laugh a little bit.
yeah, it's my favorite.
Oh, I didn't really like it.
No, explain
Uh,
yourself,
it
Nicole.
well, I do like the way it's worded because I agree with you, Paul. The cadence of it is wonderful, and I love the balance of the words. Best case, worst case. I like that a lot. But I'm like, why would there be trepidation about pulling out a sword? Like it didn't. To me, I was like, what? Why would he need convincing? It's like a whole bunch of. You know what I mean? It's like, why is he needing to be convinced to take one? Like it just seemed a mismatch for what was happening.
I can see that. Oh,
This could be too picky, though. I
Maybe
hear
it
they
them
is
saying
think
that's
picky,
they'd
but I
get
too
in
can
picky.
see.
trouble. Maybe they think they'd get in trouble somehow if they took the sword. And back in those days, if you got in trouble, it was off with your head.
Yeah.
So maybe.
Do you have a favorite, Nicole?
Yeah, I think I like the second one the best. The knife, the Excalibur. Like I like this idea of this being an Excalibur knife set that is for sale. Now this is the full Excalibur set with chef carving bread, fillet paring, and steak knives. And the reason I like it is because it treats this scene as completely normal and nothing to and not the sword in the stone. And it treats this as a normal scene and carries on as though this is actually some sort of door-to-door sort of knife salesman guy. And I that to me is one of those unexpected angles um, that I found funny.
Yeah, I do like that, but here I'm going to be picky now is that there are way more swords than what they're saying here, and they all look like swords to me. So that's my picky take on that one.
I could
Yeah.
go with any of these three captions, just because I like the angles of all of them.
And that one is also from Toronto, so
Yeah, maybe I'm biased.
Location bias.
Unconscious bias, yeah.
I don't really understand the first one.
I had that
Like,
question too, Beth.
like that one
Oh,
doesn't really strike me as funny, or even, like, I hate to say it, it doesn't strike me as a good caption because I just really I don't get it.
I do think it falls apart if you think about Excalibur and the Stone and King
Mhm.
Arthur a little bit, it falls apart.
Yeah.
Mhm.
really? I'd love to discuss that because if
Okay.
you take, I mean, the logic of it is the sword and the stone was just a single sword. So if they take them all away and make up a story, I mean, I think it might be a little convoluted in its logic, but I like it.
Mhm.
Well, Beth, what was your issue with it? Or
Uh,
can you explain, or is it just something you can't explain? There was just something about it.
well, the King Arthur story, right, is that nobody can get the sword out of the stone, and that the person that does is like magical or is the rightful heir of the kingdom or whatever, right?
Yes.
So if they can take them all out,
No,
like, why
yeah,
would they
Yeah. Yeah.
why would they have to
Oh,
make up
that's
a
true. Yeah.
story? You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like, they got them all. So like why would I don't I just it's
Well, it
just
says,
not it's
well,
not really making sense to me.
yeah, because they say let's take them all except one and make up a
Right,
story. So then the
right.
story they're going to make up is here's the one sword that you have to pull to become the king.
Yeah,
Then I
or
guess
that they
whoever comes along pulls it and becomes king. Like why
yeah,
why wouldn't they make up a better story that makes them king?
right.
Unless
Or
that's King Arthur, in which case, how come he can just pull them all out?
right, right. Or if they took them all and they left one and they're going to make up that they couldn't get it out. That one,
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know. It's not making sense to me. I'm just
exactly.
not. I'm just maybe I'm thinking about it too much, but it's just that one falls apart for me.
Well,
No, I
now that you've explained your life, yes, it does fall apart. You guys are looking 5 steps ahead of where I was. I just went for the simple on the first viewing. Yeah, one sword and they make up a story. That works for me.
I don't know. Maybe I'm biased because I like the King Arthur and the Arthurets caption better.
yeah.
Oh, I like we're going to keep your sword on file. That was,
We're gonna
Yeah.
Yeah.
keep your sword on file.
We're gonna keep your
That's
sword on file.
that
It's
is
hilarious.
great.
Well, and John, this is our curse because we week after week we sit with the captions and talk about them on the podcast. So then I, I we've talked about this before, having the experience of liking a caption right away. And then
yeah.
and this is an example of this too, because just like you, John, I liked this caption when I read it. And I think if I was just like thinking about it for half a second, I probably would have voted for it. But it's only when I sit down to prep for this podcast and think about it a bit,
Right. No, I
it doesn't make
understand.
any sense. And so it's a bit of a curse.
Mhm.
Well, that's isn't that the case when you look at captions all day long? Yeah, you start to they
Yeah.
take different shapes in your mind, right?
Yep.
Yep.
And that's the thing. Speaking as a cartoonist, it's amazing. There are times when you will work all day on a drawing or a concept, and by the end you think it's just the worst thing you've ever seen. But then somebody else is going to make a 10-second judgment on it, and they're telling you, the editor buys that one.
Right.
It can be a frustrating process sometimes.
Oh, I can imagine.
Okay, and I'm going to
Yeah.
give my bad pun for this one. I said it on the podcast when we talked about this, and I decided I wanted to enter it just because it's something I would have never entered normally, but I wanted to do it just to do it. And so this must be the castle of Monte Costco. And that's the reaction I got first time. Everybody laughed. It's like people laughed. It's like I got to go with
It's,
people laughing. I got to do
it's
that.
good. It's actually good. I actually like that one. Yeah.
It is funny.
But why? It's a dad pun. It is a dad pun.
Yeah.
It is
It's
a
because
dad
it's so
pun.
silly. It's so
It is
silly.
so
Some
silly.
silly things are really funny.
That's why you can't rule them out. That's why you just
Yeah.
can't. You can't
Mhm.
completely just rule them out because if they make you laugh, they work.
That's it. You got to hear the pun, and if you laugh, it's good. And if you roll your eyes and you get
Yeah.
angry, it's bad.
Well, also, I think the fact that you use like a commercial name takes
Mhm.
away some of the pun,
Yeah.
heaviness.
Well, it's a Costco joke, and it's like, oh,
Yeah.
I hate Costco jokes.
Yes. It shouldn't work, but it does.
Right. Yeah.
Is
On
it
an unrelated,
because it's Costco combined with a pun? Is that why it works? I don't know.
on an unrelated note, I was surprised in the Facebook entries how many people made a cat or created captions or offered captions that wasn't a stone. There was like a huge sector of people who were treating it as dinosaur poop or just
Mhm.
something else, but not a stone. That one caught me by surprise.
Yeah.
And what do you think about that, John? Just in light of what you said earlier too about trying to find some sort of like other angle, because I think
Yeah,
sometimes there's like sometimes that's a successful avenue and sometimes it's not.
sure. Um, there were a couple that were pretty good. I can't remember them offhand, but yeah, I mean, maybe maybe it was unfamiliarity with the Arthur legend, or maybe it was just wanting to go in a different direction. I don't know.
Well, I think that when I first saw this, I thought at first it was like a mound of dirt, but then I
Mm.
realized no, it's the King Arthur legend. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think it depends on whether or not that's a good angle. Really depends on how the caption is written because Larry Wood, who the most decorated caption contest winner of them all, submitted a caption that was of the angle that that was not a rock. His
Huh?
was, I think it was, we thought it was a dinosaur egg, so they were
Uh,
going after it to kill it because they thought it was not a dinosaur. Did he say dinosaur
No,
or
dragon.
dragon?
It was a
Dragon.
dragon
They thought
egg.
it was a dragon
Yeah.
egg. So they were going at they were trying to kill it because they thought it was a dragon egg. And I thought that was a good angle for that, right? But I don't think every caption that went against that being a stone would work. But I thought it did in Larry's caption because it was a funny explanation. I can't speak today. A funny explanation of why there are so many swords in there.
and its logic, the
Mhm.
logic made sense.
Yeah, but to me, like, even if it is obvious, like this is clearly, the sword and the stone concept. So I
Yes.
kind of think that you really have to stick with that rather than going outside the box in this particular drawing.
And I also think that all three of these captions they chose do that because even the second one, which treats it like a knife set for sale, calls it the full Excalibur
Right.
set.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there is the nod to it.
Right.
And if you need that, you couldn't just treat this like a knife set. You have
Yeah.
to tie it in some way, I think, to make it. Because I agree with you, Beth,
Yeah.
that's one of the challenges of trying to find a unique angle is
Mhm.
if you go too far off the page into some other world, you lose the tenor of what's happening. You're
Right.
trying to find the unique angle that still grounds itself in what you're seeing.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
that's what makes it so hard.
Yeah. Yeah. I kind of call
That's
that
what we
going down the
fun.
rabbit hole, that it's funny while you're in the rabbit hole, but once you come out, it's not funny anymore.
But I mean, and I just really think that if something is obviously meant to be something, then you should just keep it with it. Like I hate to use this as an example, but I'm going to say a Jack and the Beanstalk cartoon has to be has to be a Jack and the Beanstalk related caption. It has to. It
Yeah.
just has to. And same with this. But, like a cartoon like Liza Donnelly's from last week, a cat in a kayak, you can make that any caption you want it to be, because that is not clearly related to something specific that everybody knows.
I totally agree with you.
Anything else with this one?
No, but I should just tell John that one of my biggest nightmares in life is Jack and the Beanstalk.
Yeah.
I was surprised you brought that up,
Jack
Beth. I
and
was
the Beanstalk.
surprised.
So I know I'm gonna have nightmares tonight
Yeah.
now.
We're not allowed to talk about it. We really don't mention it. That's why I was like,
You're like, oh my God, she brought it up.
are you okay?
But
Wait.
yeah, but I mean, my mind just went there because as much as I hate Jack and the Beanstalk, if there's a Jack and the Beanstalk drawing, you have to go with it.
Yeah, you do. I agree.
Yeah. So
There was one in the
anyway.
contest a while back. I'm sorry, Beth, to carry it out, but the caption contest did have one a while ago, of like a boardroom on the
Yeah.
beanstalk going up, and there was like in the cloud, there was a board
Yep.
table with all the people around it.
Yep, I remember it. I remember it, believe me.
Yeah, damn it.
I love nightmares about it.
Yeah, hopefully never again.
Well, that brings up so many questions, but I don't want to take up time with them.
It's
Oh,
the
we have time. We have
fee-fi-fo
time.
fum. It's the giant and the fee-fi-fo fum. It freaked me out as a child, and
Okay.
I just hated it ever since. So
Wow.
that's what it's based in. So I have a very big aversion to Jack and the Beanstalk. So.
So was it
Okay.
the grind your bones into my bread?
Oh God! The blood of an Englishman?
Nice, Paul.
No, I just can't. I just can't. I can't. Ugh.
Okay, so let's
All right.
jump out of that and jump into the current contest.
Thank you.
Let's see if we can get Jack and the Beanstalk going on this one here. No, this is a Benjamin Schwartz cartoon, a lab setting, but behind a glass window are four monkeys dressed as a barbershop quartet and obviously singing some barbershop quartet song. I like this one. You know, it's a lab setting. We do a lot of lab settings, but I've never done monkeys singing in a barbershop quartet
It's
caption.
cute.
So
Super
It's
cute
fun.
drawing.
What? No, this is crazy. This is crazy. I don't like it. This is crazy. What is happening? I'm like, no, this is too hard.
It is hard. It really is. He must have had a really specific caption.
Yes.
Like when he drew this, that they just were like, no, and they ripped the caption off and put it in here to torture everybody. Because this is
hard.
this is very hard.
I like
But
this
it's
one.
super cute. It's super
Like just the monkeys in the barbershop quartet by themselves would have been a challenge. Never mind that they're in some sort of lab
Right.
experiment.
Yeah.
Like, what?
That's true. Mm-hmm.
So hard.
Yep.
So
I
anybody
like that you
submit
like
yet?
it so far.
No, I don't have anything yet. Well, actually, I had one idea, but it's not good enough to submit it. It's just something like they're still 150 years behind us, you know, in musical evolution or whatever, you know, because barbershop quartets were what, late 1800s to the early 1900s.
Well, they're still out there. They're still out there.
Really?
Yes, they
I
are.
haven't seen any.
We've had some coming to our town, you know, in Wisconsin. So we do have barbershop quartets that travel around and perform.
Okay, so Wisconsin is also 150 years
Yeah.
behind us.
Yes, we are, and damn proud of it.
Proudly so. Yes.
Sorry, Paul, you walked right into that one.
Yeah. I was just waiting for someone to say it. I'm like, I'm going to stay out of this as a Canadian.
Just teasing
No
Paul.
comment.
Just teasing Paul. So, I don't know. That's the only idea I came up with so far.
No,
But it's not submittable. It's
Yeah.
terrible.
I do have to say a little bit of barbershop quartet music goes a long way. How about you, Nicole? Anything?
Well, I jotted down a few ideas, but none of them are good. And because I do find this so challenging, because what do they test? Like, what's the lab experiment?
Mhm.
What is it? Like, what's the control group? I sat there for a while trying to think, like, what's the control? Is it people? Is it a barrel of monkeys? Is it like
Yeah.
what? What is happening? So I did have one that was still less fun than the barrel of monkeys, but that's so
Mhm.
stupid. Like, why would anyone make a cartoon about that? Hit mute before we lose our funding. I don't
Oh,
The
That's not
funding
bad.
cartoon, a
oh,
funding caption. It's waiting for a
know.
funding caption.
It's no Shakespeare, but at least they rhyme, with the infinite
Hmm.
monkeys and the
Yes.
Shakespeare one. Uh, and then I was working on one where maybe another version of this experiment didn't end so well, like something like the last group or the control group ate the baritone or something. I was trying to go with
Hmm.
it,
Oh my
some sort of
God.
dark angle, but
Yeah,
I
that is dark.
haven't worked it out. And
Hmm.
so no, nothing. I have nothing submittable yet.
do you all submit every week?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
we do.
We try to.
Congratulations. No,
Sometimes one, I'll admit one or two get past me if I wait too long and then I forget.
uh,
Like I try to submit before the weekend because once the weekend hits, I get Sundays are like I don't even know what happens on Sundays, but if I wait that long, then all of a sudden it's past midnight and I've lost it.
mm.
But so I usually try to submit earlier in the week, but this one I don't know what I'm going to do with.
I've never missed. I started submitting in 2020, and even traveling through Japan these last few weeks, I still submitted.
Wow.
Like, what day is it back home? Have I missed it? I need to think of something. Oh, my
Dedication.
poor family.
Yeah.
My poor family. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. They're stuck with you during this.
Yes. Well, at least I've learned over the years not to share my ideas with them anymore. They just are not interested. They're like, we don't care about your caption ideas.
I've been there.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about you, Paul? Do you have anything?
Maybe. We'll see how you guys react to some of these. I've got one that may be good. A pun, of course. But the first one is just an awful, awful pun, and I love it. An unfortunate side effect is ape capella.
Oh
Oh,
God,
Oh,
no, that's a
oh,
groan. That's a groan.
that's painful.
That's no,
Thank
that's
there's
you.
no.
Thank
something
you.
there though, Paul.
Oh yeah, of course
Is
there
there?
is. But it's too painful. It's no way am I entering that one. Let's see. This is a long one that I couldn't figure out how to knock it down. It's conclusive. Give anybody a straw hat, bow tie, and a cane, and they'll form a barbershop quartet.
That one I like.
But
It's
it's
a little
long. It's
wordy.
long.
It's very long, but it makes sense with the drawing, the whole setting.
Right.
At least it gives an explanation, which I feel like I'm
Mhm.
craving. Like, what is that? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
What? Why?
And let's see. I didn't phrase this right, but we're seeing a trend. The Rats formed a free jazz group. So trying to come up with, whatever medication they're testing, the side effect is it makes these subjects form music that people dislike
Mhm.
intensely. Most
Something
people,
about banjo could work in that vein because
yeah,
everyone likes
banjo,
banjo.
I thought a bagpipe as well would be
Oh God,
in there.
Mm.
bagpipe. Yeah.
So here's the one I kind of like, this might work, and it'll get a word into the contest that normally would not get into the contest. At least it's not scat.
Yeah, I like that one. I
Okay.
like that one. I think that one you sent around to us, that's the one I chose out
Yeah,
of your. Yeah, I like that one.
because it's a poo joke.
Woohoo! Well, there is a word that does work
It
because
Mhm.
does.
both meanings fit.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
If it's a poop joke, yes, but a clever poop joke. So
Mhm.
there's
Yeah.
elevated.
Is there a podcast policy on poop jokes?
Uh, no, but they're rarely chosen
Oh, okay.
as a winner or a finalist.
Yeah, I think there's a fart joke for one and a bird poop joke for another one. I
Hmm.
think those are the only
No.
two instances where, that in that area.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
this is a tough one, but I like it just because it
A
is
lot of
tough.
like, yeah.
Hmm.
We, it'll probably bring in a variety of, a lot of different angles on this.
Hmm.
I'm wondering if, I thought of this, but I didn't do anything with it, is if the monkeys, Pleasant Valley Sunday, if there's
Hmm.
anything with a joke with using the actual monkeys, the band, the
Hmm.
monkeys in there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I don't know. It's just that barbershop quartet just kind of throws you.
Yes, it can.
Yeah.
It's such a specific thing. I think that's
Hmm.
why it's
Right.
not enough that it's monkeys singing together in some kind of band. They have to be a barbershop quartet, which in the
Hmm.
metadata, like when you take a look at the metadata, it says barbershop quartet. Like they clearly are
Hmm.
that based on their dress, but it's
Yeah.
very specific. Oh, I'm so curious about this. I think this is the kind of contest where I get really curious about the original idea. Like I wish I could figure it out. If I could crack this code, maybe
Yeah.
a caption will flow from it. Like just what the idea, the genesis of the humor, the humorous idea. That's what
Hmm.
I find I'm so curious about it.
Well, I should say something here too. There's one of the I will call her a scientist. The one that's speaking looks disappointed. I should mention that. There's this kind
Hmm.
of like unimpressed, I should say, unimpressed. So is there something there, with that expression?
I agree. I think there's a clue. I you don't not that you have to address that in your caption because I think that would be too hard given what we have to do. But I do think it's a clue into what the original idea was.
Yeah,
This is not the right outcome,
yeah.
the expected outcome of whatever they're testing.
Are there any, just a blank idea in my mind, are there any musical terms that would apply to science also?
Yeah, that's a great approach.
Great question, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know off the top of my head.
You're going for a pun, but
Hmm.
Yeah, but it's true though. But it is a good, I think it is a good place to start when you're struggling is to take the disparate frames of science and the music, or even science, music,
right,
and monkeys, and see if
yeah.
there's anything that crosses over, because it's the
Hmm.
start of a possible angle.
Or just play with terminology, just
Yeah.
start picking terms out of it. See, like
Hmm.
you said, see where they're Venn diagrams.
Right.
Yeah. That's kind of our Nicole and my's uh
Hmm.
how we come up with sometimes. Yeah,
Yeah,
this
that's
is
a tough one.
as I said, I like this one. It's just I like a tough one.
Hmm. It's great.
Okay.
Great drawing too.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah,
great drawing.
right.
Very, very cute monkeys. I love them. I love them.
Yeah.
I know. They look really in sync as well. They look like they're
Hmm.
performing so well
Yeah.
from where I'm sitting. They sound great in my imagination.
Well, there it is. It's soundproof glass. That's what the
Hmm.
Yeah.
it's much better since we put the soundproof glass in. Yeah.
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 Okay. Move on to the
Right.
cartoons from the current issue. Does anybody have one they really feel they want to be their cartoon?
This is a strong batch, I
It
thought.
is. There's I've got like half a dozen of them in there that
There's
I can pick from.
Yeah.
there's two that are outstanding to me.
And
Tell us.
But there's a bunch of them that I could go with.
yeah.
Um, I love the unicorn cartoon. I just think that is a great cartoon.
Yes, so dark. Love
Very
it.
dark.
Well, it's the
Super
mix of
dark.
dark and light is just so wonderful in that
It's
regard.
great.
Yeah.
Is Edith a regular, or is this a first time? I
Uh
I'm
don't
not
recognize
familiar with
it.
she's
her.
been in before. There are two
Okay,
newbies in this batch though, but that she's
yeah,
not one of them.
okay. And the other one was the pandas. I love the pandas cartoon.
That one was my top one. Yes, I love that one. So I will describe that one. It's two pandas in a zoo. You can tell it's a zoo because there's a barrier with people looking over the barrier. And one panda is saying to the other, and I'm going to have to do this in a falsetto because I believe it's the female panda saying this. Lay off, Doug. I don't hook up with roommates.
That's good.
It's a very small dating pool for pandas. I mean, you kind of have to. I mean, where else are they going?
Yeah, that's funny.
Nicole?
I'm gonna go with there were a lot that I liked as well. I'm gonna go with the Farley Cats, which is a good God cartoon who's chilling up in his cloud and he's holding a fishing rod that's dangling like a small UFO over top of the earth. And he's saying, the things I do so you people feel less alone. It's really funny. It just makes him seem so almost like bored and, just so disinterested in us. And I think it's a funny play on people who are obsessed with UFOs and things. I just think it's funny. I love a good God cartoon.
Mhm.
God in heaven
Yeah.
is such fertile territory for cartoons. Love it.
Yeah. When it all comes down to is what the hell are you guys doing down there?
Yeah.
All right, I have to go with the Ed Steed.
Of
Yes.
course,
I
of
have
course.
to.
Yeah.
I have to.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
This one
That
is absolutely wild.
It's just,
Like this
how does he get away with doing this? How does he get away with doing this?
classic Ed Steed where it's just like no one could have thought of this. It is totally entirely unique.
it's a big bird foot squishing somebody with a big sign next to it that says with a picture of the big goose, of which the big foot is in the foreground, and it has a picture of him, says the big angry goose, and then it has a "you are here" little thing pointing to under the goose's foot, and
So funny.
that's just off the wall and so funny.
It's so funny. Like it is wild.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have to go with that.
Well, one of the things that makes this batch so wonderful is that there's a Ed Steed and a Seth Fleischman cartoon in the
Yes.
same.
Yes.
Two of the
Yes.
masters of the wordless
Mhm.
cartoons.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, they are so good. Seth Fleischman
Oh, that's a
Yeah.
great drawing.
like he's
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
Like the fact that like almost probably what 99% of his entire cartoon library is captionless. And like all the cartoonists that we speak to always say the holy grail is the captionless cartoon. Like they want to
Yeah.
get the captionless cartoon. And this guy
Yeah.
is just like he just
Yeah.
churns them out.
Yeah.
You know,
Master.
like, and they are all so good.
And they're
So good.
beautiful too. Just
Mhm, his
beautiful
artwork's
drawings. Yeah.
amazing.
Does somebody want to
Yeah.
describe this one? I don't have it in front of me, so if anybody has
It's a knight. Is it a knight? Yeah,
Mhm.
someone in full armor, busking. They're playing an instrument, and they've got their knight's helmet down in front for gathering money. Instead, that's his hat.
It's- yeah,
It's
it's
subtle,
great.
really well done.
Yeah,
It's great.
being able to do that properly, because it's
Mhm.
a
Wow.
knight's helmet and everything, it's kind of like, and he does it. It's
Yeah.
just, it's great.
Exactly.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
I love it. Absolutely love it.
I'd like to give a shout out for the mice and drugs one too.
Yeah.
I thought that was I thought that was a good gag.
Yeah, I was just
That
going to mention that one because that is one of the newbies,
Oh,
Steph
is it? Okay.
Lawson. And
Okay.
I wanted to say about this because her caption is one that I absolutely hate to see in the contests. I
me
hate,
too.
hate, hate to see that,
Mhm.
but she makes it work here because it comes together with the image perfectly.
Yeah.
What was it? I haven't got it here
We
in
should
front.
describe it. We should describe it for
The image, it's two mice in front of a maze.
Yeah.
The maze kind of has a normal start to it, but then it becomes this Picasso deconstructed thing with Escher where the angles are just all over the place, and it's just this nice, very nicely drawn mess of a maze. And the caption is simply, "I wonder what drugs are on."
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that caption is generally looked at as a cop out.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
like when you can't think of anything because the drawing is too crazy disparate elements, they say what drugs are we on, or
Yeah.
what was in
What's
those
in those
mushrooms,
brownies?
or
Yeah.
the brownies or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
I
It's
just
the
had those
PG
mushrooms.
version of Christ, what an asshole, right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But it
So,
does really, I guess it does really work though in this context because they're testing drugs on the mice. That's what
Yeah.
makes it so
It
good.
is what it is.
mhm,
Yes.
mhm.
This is the exception where you
Yeah.
can do that caption for only for this cartoon.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Exactly. So yeah, very well done.
Yes.
There were so many great ones. I also really like the Dan Mizdia one
Yes.
about
The
about
squid
the
ink.
the squid ink pasta.
Yeah, I did too. Right.
It's the people on the boat, and there's the giant squid has one wrapped up in a big tentacle. They're trying to kill it. All this trouble just to make squid ink pasta. I think it's visually really funny. And it's true that squid ink pasta does seem very involved.
What is squid ink pasta? I've heard of it, but I don't know what it is.
Oh, it's like when you make something of black pasta and it's
Yeah.
literally made with squid ink. It's like, why bother? It's so much work.
Yeah.
Is it really that much better? Do you have to do that? It's so much effort. I can only imagine that Dan was probably eating some squid ink
Yeah, it
pasta or
occurred
saw it
to
on a
him. Yeah.
menu. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so good.
So, and I am going to give a shout out to the other newbie in the issue is Olivia Piscini, and she has two bats or one bat hanging from the ceiling,
Yeah.
another bat flying up to this bat, and the bat hanging from the ceiling is saying, "Sleeping on my back activates my sleep apnea. Sleeping on my side hurts my shoulder, and sleeping on my stomach gives me neck pain." So why a bat hangs from the ceiling? There it is.
Yeah, that's good.
And I like the drawing. It's very nicely done. I like the way they use shading in there. I like that.
I even really like the Roz Chast this week because sometimes I find
Yes.
her joke. It's like I don't love it necessarily. This one I really love. It's the woman in front of her laptop and there's the banner caption, a really long caption above, which plays on the idea of turning your computer off and then turning it back on, which is of course the only thing we know how to do to fix any problems. But the caption is shut down computer, unplug, wait 15 minutes, go back to bed, go back to childhood, go back to the womb, go back to cells, go back to molecules, go back to atoms, go back to waves and quarks, go back to the dark, pre-temporal, formless, nothingness of pre-existence, restart.
That is very
That is
good.
good.
I like that one.
Yeah, so funny.
I would like to make a shout out for the Naked Boxer one too, because it's a
Yeah.
great drawing.
Yes.
It's a drawing that had to be perfect, and
Yep.
he did it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was
it took me a
very
second to get that until I realized, oh, it's perfectly okay.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Okay. I got it.
It is good. It is
Yeah, the
good.
naked boxer hoisting up the belt, and the caption is the guy from the sides yelling, "Now use it! Use the belt!"
Yeah.
So good. So funny.
Oh, this
Great
was great.
stuff.
We went through most of the cartoons in this issue.
Yeah. If we didn't mention your cartoon, it's not because we didn't like it. It was just such a good issue.
It was a good
Yeah.
issue. It
Yeah.
was a good issue.
Okay. This has been a lot of fun, John.
Yes.
Thank you all for your time. Boy,
Thank
boy,
you.
it was really fun, and thank you, Paul, for inviting me.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. When I saw your name pop up in the commentary, it's like, okay, John, when's the last time we had John on? It's like, okay, when this is over, we got to have him on to talk about the commentary.
Yes.
So,
Thank you. Well, I will go home and research puns more, and
Yeah.
I will have some
And we'll
presentation for you.
reconvene. We'll reconvene online or
Yeah,
something.
please let us know what you find.
Yes, exactly. I'll give you arguing points.
Yeah. Thank you so
good
much.
having
John.
Thank you. It's nice
Thank
meeting
you.
you, Nicole, and I hope
Yes.
you get some rest.
Yeah, thank you.
Good night, everybody.
okay. Good night, John.
Okay.